بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. We are still in Surah Al-Baqarah, and what we started off with is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was mentioning the ingratitude of Bani Israel again and again. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, or He showed us through the verses how Bani Israel would intentionally distort the meaning of the revelation and even withhold information in order to transform the religion according to their own desires. And then He mentioned that there is another group within Bani Israel. So one group is those who are supposedly religious and they are knowledgeable of the religion and of the scriptures, and they would change the verses and they would change the scripture in order to fit their desires. And then the other group are those who are completely ignorant of the verses, of the details of the scriptures, and they would purely rely upon those priests of theirs that whatever they would say, they would go ahead and follow them, and thus they would be worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blindly and according to assumptions. And then Allah, He mentions, or He talks about Harut and Marut. Harut and Marut, there is a lot of tafsir, there's a lot of explanation who they were and what they were. But nonetheless, according to the most correct opinion, these were two angels that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down to the earth in order to test the people. Allah, He taught them a few things, and they would tell the people, don't learn magic from us. We are a fitna. And so people who were inclined to cause corruption on the earth, especially those that were inclined to cause separation and discord between husband and family, and they were leaning towards how they can break up the community and how they can break up families, they would go to Harut and Marut and learn those things whereby they would be able to break up families. Now, we also have people nowadays in our time, they have no other job except to put their nose in the affairs, in the private affairs of other people, what they're doing, why they're doing, what was said today, what was not said today. This is the people nowadays as well. There's no difference between what they did back in the days, trying to learn the magic in order to separate husband and wife. And now you have people who are going into the private affairs of individuals and causing fitna and discord amongst the community and amongst family. And you will see that father will break up with his son, wife will break up with her husband. Instead of pushing for reconciliation, instead of pushing for how to unite the community and how to unite families, now we are pushing for independency. The divorce rate here in America, amongst the Americans, is 45%, 46%. That means 1 in 2 marriages end up in a divorce. And amongst Muslims is 35%, meaning more than 1 in 3 marriages end up in the divorce. And one of the primary reasons that they end up in a divorce is because of external factors such as people meddling into their private affairs. Then Allah, He exposes the jealousy in the hearts of some people and how they do not wish good for the Muslims, but it is Allah who wishes good, and He selects them for His bounties, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give to whomsoever He wants, and there is no one that can do anything about it. Also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions how the people of the book, the Jews and the Christians, they will never be pleased with you until you follow their religion. وَلَن تَرْضَى عَنْكَ الْيَهُودُ وَلَا النَّصَارَى حَتَّى تَتَّبِعَ مِلَّتُهُم. No matter how much you try to be like them, dress like them, talk like them, look like them, whatever it is, don't ever think that they will ever accept you into their custom unless you adopt completely their religion and their way of life. And then Allah, He mentions the story, and I want all the parents, I want all the parents to pay attention to this particular story. Allah, He mentions the story of Prophet Ebrahim alayhi salam and how he was tested in various forms by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over and over again, so many times. And then Allah, He says, إِذْ قَالَ لَهُ أَسْلِمْ قَالَ أَسْلَمْتُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Submit, he said, I have submitted myself to the Lord of the mankind. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He told him, I am going to make you an imam. I'm going to make you a leader for humanity. And look at what Prophet Ebrahim alayhi salam did. He did not forget his family. He did not forget his children. He said, وَمِن ذُرِّيَّتِي. He said, and make leaders for mankind, my progeny as well, my children. This is a lesson, brothers. If you are praying, don't forget your family. You're waking up for Fajr, don't forget your family. You're coming to the masjid and you're praying, don't let your kids out there and do whatever they want to do. No, you make sure that they pray with you. You make sure you're learning something about the religion. Make sure that they are also learning about the religion. How beautiful, what a beautiful sight it is to see father and son praying side by side. Mother and daughter praying side by side. Worshipping and making sajda to the same Lord, the Lord of Al-Alameen. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Ibrahim alayhi salam, in order to implement his dua to Allah, what does he do? He makes sure that his children are involved with him in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one of the best obedience that they were showing to Allah is what? After so many others, one of the best obedience is both father and son. They were helping one another and coordinating with one another in building the house of Allah, which was a symbol of unity for the entire humanity. Prophet Ebrahim, he would build the Kaʿbah, and his son is going and fetching him some of the stones and the bricks in order for him to place it. And both father and son built the foundation. How beautiful would it be if we have fathers and sons, mothers and daughters cooperating with one another in order to build the future of a community, or even better, to build the future of the ummah. And while they are doing it, what are they doing? What are they saying? While they are doing it, they are saying very humbly, رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. Oh Allah, accept it from us. Verily, you are the all-hearing and the most knowledgeable. They are being very humble before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they are making this dua. And in the booklet that we gave out, which if you have not received it, please ask one of us after the Taraweeh. We will go ahead and give it. There are some ad'iyah, there are some du'as that we can go ahead and utilize and implement in our life, in our daily du'as, especially right before we are breaking our fast, in order we can supplicate to Allah through the du'as of prophets such as Prophet Ebrahim alayhi salam. And then after all of these tests and after all of these submission to Allah, Prophet Ebrahim, he is still reminding his sons and his grandkids. He says, do not die except that you are a Muslim. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tells us, or He tells the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and He is informing us with regards to changing the Qibla from Al-Quds in Jerusalem to Masjid al-Haram in Mecca. And because of this, the Jews and the hypocrites, they started making a big deal. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in a verse much later after that, He said, لَيْسَ الْبِرَّ أَن تُوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ قِبَلَ الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ مَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. It is not from righteousness which way you are praying. But what is righteousness is that you submit to Allah, you believe in Allah and the last day, you give sadaqah, whatever the Prophet ﷺ tells you, you take it blindly, you take it without any questioning and without any without any critique. Now this Qibla, is a very honorable rite, R-I-T-E, a very honorable rite and a ritual within the religion of Islam. We respect the Qibla. We cannot pray just like anywhere. We have to, even if we are, up in the skies, we have to use our ijtihad, our independent reasoning, in order for us to find the Qibla. If we're in the middle of the desert, we should try to go ahead and try and find which way is the Qibla. Why? Because Qibla is one of the ways that we get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We worship Him with discipline. We don't worship Him haphazardly. Imagine in this masjid, one person feels like he wants to pray this way, another says, you know what, I want to pray this way, another person says, you know what, I want to pray the other way, there's no space. No, Qibla is for us, just like how Masjid al-Haram and the masjid in a community is used to unite the community and unite the ummah. Likewise, Qibla is there to unite the ummah as well. And Qibla has so many significance. I'll just mention just a few of them, 2 or 3 of them. You know, Qibla, when we are slaughtering an animal, which way do we make it face? We make it face the Qibla. This is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, to make the animal face the Qibla. Also, when we are going to sleep, which way do we put our head? We put our head or our face towards the Qibla. Also, when we are burying the dead, which way do we put the dead? We make it face the Qibla. Likewise, we should not be disrespecting the Qibla. And mashallah, sometimes you will see people, they will be leaning against the wall and they will have their feet stretched towards the Qibla. This is a form of disrespect to the Qibla. In fact, some of the scholars, out of so much respect, like Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah, he would not even stretch his legs towards the house of his teachers. Imagine the Qibla. Qibla is not just, some ordinary direction that we just pray only in Salah. No, even outside of Salah, we should be disciplined with regards to that. So let's go ahead and try to hold these values, even if it may seem, minute or small. No, each rite, each monumental ritual, we should go ahead and preserve and respect. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after mentioning the changing of the Qibla, He tells us what? وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ. He said, seek the help of Allah, seek the assistance of Allah, and be patient through Salah. And then He tells us, anytime there is a calamity that comes upon you, what should you say? What should be the attitude of a Muslim? Having patience, praying Salah, and saying words that is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Such as what? Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. When we do these types of things, what does Allah promise us? أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَيْهِمْ صَلَوَاتٌ مِّن رَبِّهِمْ وَرَحْمَةٌ. Allah will send blessings upon them and mercy upon them. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُهْتَدُونَ. And they will be the guided individuals by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from amongst those who have patience and always seeking help and assistance through Him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us people who are always respecting the sha'air of Islam, the rituals of the religion, and believe and worship Him without any grudge, without any questioning, without any critique. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us all of our du'as that we've made and our first day of fasting. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for all of our major and minor sins. Before we do end, I forgot to even do this yesterday, but I would like everyone just to look at the person to his right and to his left. Can we do that? Yeah? And say salam to each other. Yeah, say salam. Okay? All right, good. Yeah, and then say your name to each other. Because, mashallah, we have so many people. Yeah? All right. Well, say your names. Not to me, to each other. Okay? All right. Yeah, everyone knows each other's name now? Yeah? Good. Now make dua in sajda for your neighbor. after you've made dua for yourself and your parents and your family. Jazakumullah khairan.